something like that.
Do you have a stance on that? Do you think it will go to superintelligence? I'm sort of thinking here about Einstein, for example, came up with general relativity. Will we be in a position where you have AGI that can theorize about the world, come up with genuine scientific understanding that goes beyond what humans have managed?
I think it will, based on computation. And the human brain is a mobile processor. It weighs a few pounds. It consumes, I think, around 20 watts. Signals are sent within the brain through dendrites. The frequency on the channel is about order of 100 hertz or maybe 200 hertz in the cortex. And the signals themselves are electrochemical wave propagations. They move at about 30 meters per second. Okay. So if you compare that to what we see in a data center, instead of 20 watts, you could have 200 megawatts. Instead of a few pounds, you could have several million pounds. Instead of 100 hertz on the channel, you can have 10 billion hertz on the channel, right? And instead of electrochemical wave propagation at 30 meters per second, you can be at the speed of light, 300,000 kilometers per second, right? So in terms of energy consumption, space, bandwidth on the channel, speed of signal propagation, you've got 6, 7, maybe 8 orders of magnitude in all 4 dimensions simultaneously. Right? So is human intelligence going to be the upper limit of what's possible? I think absolutely not. And so I think as our understanding of how to build intelligent systems develops, we're going to see these AIs go far beyond human intelligence. In the same way that, humans, we can't outrun a top fuel dragster over 100 meters, right? We can't lift more than a crane, right? We can't see further than the Hubble telescope. I mean, we already see machines in particular areas that can, fly faster than the fastest bird and all these sorts of things, right? I think we'll see that in cognition as well. We've already seen in some aspects, you don't know more than Google, right? And so on like information storage and stuff like that, we're already gone beyond what the human brain is capable of. I think we're going to start seeing that in reasoning and all kinds of other domains. So yes, I think we are going to go towards superintelligence. So that's why I'm very interested in things like System 2 safety, because if we can't stop the development towards superintelligence because of competitive dynamics globally and all these sorts of things, then we need to think really hard about how do we make a superintelligence super ethical. And if you have a system that can apply the capabilities of its intelligence, not just to achieving goals and doing things, but actually applying it to making ethical decisions as well, then it might scale with its capabilities in some way.
I do wonder what all of this means for people. I mean, if we are getting to a point where essentially, human intelligence is dwarfed by superintelligence, what does that mean for society? Does that mean just massive inequality, that you have the people who no longer have value essentially in what they can offer the economy being completely left behind?
It means a massive transformation. I think the current system where people contribute their mental and physical labor in return to access to resources that are generating the economy, that may not work the same anymore. And we may need different ways of doing things. Now, the pie should get much bigger. So there's not a problem of a lack of goods and services that are produced. If anything, that's getting much, much better. But we need to think carefully about what's the system for people? How do we distribute the wealth that exists in society? I think there needs to be a lot more thought going into this of how a post-AGI economy works and how the structure of a post-AGI society works as well. I gave a talk to the Russell Group vice chancellors. So in the UK, the Russell Group is the top universities in the UK. And I said to them, look, this AGI thing's coming and it's not that far away. In 10 years, we're going to have it. And it's going to start being able to do a significant fraction of all kinds of cognitive labor and work and things that people do, right? we actually need people in all these different aspects of society and how society works to think about what that means in their particular area. So we really need every faculty and every department that you have in your university to take this seriously and think, what does it mean for education, right? What does it mean for law? What does it mean for engineering, mathematics, city planning, literature, politics, economics, finance, medicine, ... right? So basically every faculty, every department studies something where human intelligence is a really important thing. And so if you have the presence of cheap, abundant, capable machine intelligence turning up, that thing needs to be thought about again. What is the implications of this? Should it be done in a different way? What are the opportunities? What are the risks, and so on? So I think there's an enormous opportunity here, but just like any revolution, like the Industrial Revolution or anything, it's complicated. It has all kinds of effects on society in all kinds of ways, and to get the benefits of that and minimize the risks and the costs of that, we need to navigate this carefully. And at the moment, I think nowhere near enough people are thinking about what AGI means for this particular thing. And we need a lot more people doing that.
Do you remember in March 2020 when the experts were saying, there's this pandemic coming, we're really standing on the edge of an exponential curve. And then everyone was still sort of in pubs and, going to football games and things. And the experts were increasingly shouting about what was coming.
Oh,
Do you sort of feel a little bit like that?
I remember those days well. It does feel a bit like that. People find it very hard to believe that a really big change is coming, because most of the time, the story that something really huge is about to happen, it's not always true. It fizzles out to nothing, right? And so as a kind of a heuristic, if somebody tells you some crazy, crazy big things are going to happen, as a heuristic, probably you can ignore most of those. But you do have to pay attention. Sometimes there are fundamentals that are driving these things. And if you understand the fundamentals, you need to take seriously the idea that a big change does come. And, sometimes big changes do come.
What does